Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Liv's Thoughts. Today I'm in front of my work because I really wanted to get a matcha and I really needed to talk about this really fast, so let's chat. Today, I want to discuss the fact that just because you think something is not important doesn't make it unimportant. Doesn't mean it doesn't matter. Just because you choose to disagree with a fact does not make that fact not literal fact. I think that selfishly and narcissistically in our lives, we are the center of our own universe. Just like I'm the center of my own universe, you yourself should be the center of your own universe. Your partner should be the center of their own universe, and etc. The reason I say this is because I think that we need to be better about putting ourselves first in order to take care of ourselves. Because guess what? We say it in every video. Make yourself better to be better to others, so then it can chain react and they can be better to other people because you were better to them. It's all the chain reaction. But I think that where we have failed with this kind of sentiment is believing that everything we think is true is true. That's just being close-minded. That is not being an open-minded human being. It's thinking that everything you believe, everyone else has to believe the same thing in order for it to be correct. And I kind of have felt a little bit of frustration with this, I guess, in my life and some of the people that I've encountered in my life. And I got into a discussion with this the other day with someone about religion and God and etc. It was a really interesting conversation, but the thing about that conversation that threw me and made me really realize something is because, and I'm guilty of being this way to people, of thinking that just because they don't believe in the same things I believe in is they're wrong. This person has been believing in the thing they believe in since they were a little baby. They have been taught this way of life since they have been an infant. So of course, when you are trying to explain a new idea or a different way of living or a different outlook on life, yelling at someone is not going to get the message through. Trying to aggressively talk to someone about why they're wrong and not maybe look at it this way instead of looking at it the way you're looking at it, because I see what you're doing, but come from my perspective and see what I'm doing. Approaching it as such rather than I'm wrong, you're right, shut the fuck up because you need to listen to me because I'm correct and I have the correct answers. No. That's the wrong way to always go about a conversation or an argument or anything in your life. Never approach it in a way that you're wrong, I'm right, shut up. Stop doing that. Please, I beg you, stop doing that. It does no good for no one, including yourself. It makes you kind of look stupid and low IQ. Sorry, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys really quick. It doesn't make you look the best. And so when we try to convince people about our way of living being better, you have to do it in a monkey see, monkey do type of way. You have to show them the benefits of the way that you are living your life. And when they approach you asking you, how do you do this? Then you can go into detail. But in no world is it your job to just sit in front of someone and just preach. You're doing life really wrong. You're messing up. And I know that some people might see this as a contradiction to my whole channel, and I understand that. But when I'm speaking to you through this lens of YouTube and through my videos, you are actively clicking on my videos and actively looking for advice of some sort. Not necessarily advice, but you're looking for entertainment of some sort. So if my entertainment proceeds to convince you to do something differently or live life differently or click something in your brain that just kind of makes sense, that is just me talking and you wanting to find a different way of doing something, not me convincing you that your way of doing stuff is wrong. That's kind of where I see how that can be a little contradictory because what my channel is about. But at the end of the day, I got on here because I was a perpetrator of trying to convince people that their lives were wrong. Ew. I was doing that a lot. I was doing it often. And I'm the first to admit that I was living life I'm on a pedestal, very high horse type of life. And I don't like admitting that, but I need to to get over it. I used to live life like that. And so that's why I kind of created this channel, because the people that are wanting to learn different things or wanting to think about or understand other people's ways of life will actively seek that out and search for that. But it's never your job to convince someone that something they believe in is stupid, something they believe in is not correct, something they believe in is just false. You can do your best to show them the ways of your life and show them the benefits of not believing in that sort of thing. Or you can just shut the fuck up. Because shutting the fuck up always works. You don't ever have to open your mouth. And this is something that I had to take a long time to learn, is that you do not need a counter argument for every argument out there. You do not need to know everything to everything you don't believe in. Like, I thought heavily about this with politics, about like how I felt like I needed to have a counter to everything that I didn't believe in politically. But then I took a step back and said, actually, I can just be really strong suited in the things that I believe in and really know what I'm talking about. And I'll listen when someone else has something else to say, but I don't need a counter argument to it. I can just ask questions. Like, when someone is saying something you don't agree with, you can either shut the fuck up or ask questions. That's all. You don't need to attack them. Because at the end of the day, too, when you try to convince people that their way of living is wrong, you're going to be seen as a little bit of a lesser human being. I hate to say it, but like, you're going to be seen as annoying. You're going to be seen as the tryhard. You're going to be seen as a lot of things. And you are not going to be respected in your ways because you're doing it for show at the end of the day. Like, living by it and being true to your way of living is so sick and so awesome, and I think is like a really awesome thing. But when you're doing it just to show everyone and tell everyone and be so talkative about the way of living, you're not really doing that for yourself at that point. You're doing it almost for external validation. I just spit out some fucking fact. That wasn't even ranting. That was just like literal fact. Just kidding. I feel so passionately about this, and I'm realizing that like shutting the fuck up sometimes is really helpful. Just when you don't agree with something, you don't have to ruin your day. When you don't agree with the way people are living, it's not your job to fix them. Like, they will figure it out. And also, when we try to project our own lives onto other people, the worst of your own life is going to come out. You are fixing this person for an apparent reason, and you're fixing this person because you see yourself in this person trying to fix. You see yourself in this person, and you see yourself trying to fix this broken, different version of you that, like, if they just made the same decisions I did, like, the potential you see in other people is just what you would do in their shoes. That quote is so fucking true. The things that you would do in their shoes is not always the best decision for that person in their life. So, of course, they would have made that if they had the choice. And maybe they don't see that. But, like, some people in this world are not meant to get better. Like, I hate to say that, but some people in this world are meant to stay where they're at. Some people in this world, this lifetime, in this life, their enlightenment doesn't happen. And that's not your job. And that's okay. And it sucks and it's frustrating, but it really isn't your job. And so, yeah, that's about all I want to talk about. Peace, love, and happiness. You guys have never heard me burp before. I'm so sorry. Talk to you later, alligators. Bye. Oopsies. Whoa, 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 whoa.